Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Wayward Souls at the Double Tap In, episode 12.
Wow.
And we're back to an airing of the grievances. It's been a while since we've done one of
Before
these.
we get to the airing of the grievances, don't you have a new addition to your fleet of cooking machines?
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us about that real quick? And then, because that'll lead into your airing of the grievance.
That's a great point. Yes. So, long story made longer. We were gifted an inflatable hot tub by our neighbors, who are fantastic, wonderful people. It's an inflatable hot tub with a little pump that sits next to it. The Coleman, I think it says for 4 to 6 people. If you get 4 to 6 people in this motherfucker, you're doing something. And they're like, they should probably have a cheeseburger or something because they're tiny people. But it was they said it was leaking, and they said, hey, if Ben can fix it and you guys want it, it's yours. If not, get rid of it. We're gonna get rid of it. Like, all right, cool. And that was told to my wife. That was told to Rachel, and I think I was at work. I don't know where I was. It doesn't matter. So I come home and Rachel's telling me this. I was like, well, if I can fix it, why don't we fix it and give it back to him? Like, and then, we'll go over sometime. Like if they need us to check on the dogs, they need us to check on the house, whatever. They travel quite a bit. So, we'll use, like, if the hot tub's ready, we'll use it. If not, like, it's no big deal. But if we can save them however much it costs, like,
right, I'm
all for it. So we reach back out to them, and they tell us we've already bought another one. It'll be here tomorrow. Okay,
fair enough.
We'll take a look and see what we got. So I take it apart, find that there's a little heating block inside of it, and there's 2 seals on either end. So I take those out, replace them. I was like, well, there should be like a silicone or something that goes on it. So Vaseline works. So coat these things in Vaseline, put it all back together, turn it on, and it doesn't leak. So we had it for probably 2 years, maybe a little longer. And in that time, like, we used it maybe 3 times. And it was one of those things that, like, you'd have to fill it up. You get the temperature up, which would take 24 hours. And then you'd be messing with the chemicals. And because it's so small, like, you were doing such small increments in chemicals that if you were a little off, you were a lot off. So we'd go back and forth, and Rachel has very sensitive skin. Harper has sensitive skin. So it was just, the more that we got into it and the more that we messed around with it, like, it was super nice, but it was just more of an inconvenience to do it. And then I read somewhere in the directions that if you're using it, which, why would you have it and not use it?
Correct.
That you're supposed to, like, drain it and fill it back up like once a week.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, fuck that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of the days that we were talking, and I was like, I started looking for Blackstone just because I think they're fun and they're cool to have, and they're great to cook food on.
Well, why not?
Exactly. There's space on the deck. So I get looking on Facebook, and I find a 4-burner Blackstone that works, just needs to be reseasoned, for $120. And I told Rachel, I said, that's like a sore Peter, and you can't beat it.
Yep.
And she's like, well, what do we need it for? It's like, why don't we need it? Like, come on now. So after I explained to her that, everything that we can cook in a pan in the oven or on the stove, we can cook on that thing.
Yeah. And
we can do it outside. It'll taste better. It's faster, all that kind of stuff. She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And I told her about that one that I found, and she said, yeah, like, we'll see if we can sell the hot tub for $120, and we've got nothing lost. I was like, why don't we see if this guy will take a hot tub, and we'll take a Blackstone. Sure as shit.
Fucking win-win.
The guy said, yeah. I was like, all right. So Mother's Day weekend, I worked Friday for 24 hours. So I got off Saturday morning, came home, took the thing apart. The guy lives in Easton. On my way to my in-laws, dropped off a hot tub, picked up a 4-burner Blackstone, and headed out. Here I am driving across the Bay Bridge. The dog's sitting shotgun, Blackstone in the back. Off we go.
A great day.
And,
great day.
Right? We get there. We get to my in-laws, and I back into their driveway, and I start taking all this stuff out. And they're like, "What is this?" I was like, "Oh, this is Rachel's Mother's Day gift." I was like, "Well, are you going to clean it up?" I'm like, "Yeah, eventually, but
yeah,
there's a gift."
I was hoping it was going to rain on the way here, and we just power wash as I'm driving across the Bay Bridge. It'd be perfect.
Right. Right. I was like, "Yeah." Whew. So got her seasoned up. While we were get it all scraped down, while we're seasoning it, I had a buddy come over, and the first meal we did on it was grilled cheese sandwiches.
Perfect.
Can't go wrong with that. It was fantastic. So finished seasoning it. Either that night or the next night, we were making dinner, and Rachel, I said, "What do we want to have?" And she said basically the same thing, grilled cheeses. I was like, "Perfect." So she gets out a frying pan. I was like, "Put that shit away." And she said,
"That's what like us now."
Yeah. She said, "Well, what are we going to cook it on?" I said, "The new thing out back." So she's like, "All right." So we cook it up, and goes fantastically well. Come in, have dinner, and of course, like, you got these beautiful golden brown and delicious sandwiches, grilled cheese sitting there for Harper. Rachel and I have our sandwiches, and of course, everything goes sideways. Like, Lincoln needs to eat. Harper's off playing with something, doing something else. I'm sitting here by myself, like, eating my sandwich. Like, well, this is nice. Love eating dinner together with the family. So yeah, that worked out well. And as we lead into our airing of the grievances, a couple days later, said, "Hey, let's do fried rice tonight for dinner, and we'll do it on the Blackstone." And Rachel's like, "Oh, that sounds good." Harper loves rice. She loves fried rice, all of it. So I was like, "Cool, fantastic." We get them off to school in the morning. Rachel goes to work. The kids go to daycare, and I come home. I make the rice, follow the directions as it's written on the back of the bag, and I open it up at the end of the 20 minutes, whatever it was, and it's all a bunch of mush, and like all the grains of rice have kind of melted together. And I was like, "Son of a bitch." I was like, "All right, well, let's fluff it." I'm not a very good fluffer, but I did my best.
As long as you put your heart and soul into it, that's all we can ask for.
Yeah, and I did. You know, a little bit of butter, a little bit of salt, mix it up. Still didn't look fantastic, but at this point, we're committed, and we're going to have fried rice for dinner. So put it in a bowl, put it in the fridge. And later that night, pull it out to throw it on there, and it's still the same thing. It's like just this mush, and it almost like mashed potatoes. I've never had fried mashed potatoes, but we might be onto something. So
yeah,
the fried rice was good. Like, it's not bad fried rice. It's like pizza.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You've had bad pizza, but at the end of the day, it's pizza.
Was it really that bad? Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Even the school pizzas were never that bad. Still pizza.
Right. So today we're going to bitch, or at least I am, about fucking rice. Holy shit. It's not like, how is it this hard? Am I just that bad at making it? Apparently.
Like we talked offline, I don't follow the instructions on the bag. I don't throw it all into the pan and bring it to a boil. I'll bring the water to a boil first, then add it in. I just find it works a little bit better for me. And but once you figure it out, you're gonna be making fried rice once a week.
Oh, all the time, all the fucking time.
Didn't you add bacon Didn't you do pork fried rice?
Yeah.
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 Why
That
don't we talk
was,
about that a little bit?
yeah. So pork fried rice, you need some sort of pork, right? So I had smoked a pork belly to make bacon, and it's still sitting in the fridge right now. I need to get a slicer to slice that puppy down. So I said I'll cut a piece of that off, and then I'll cube it up like it's cubed up in pork fried rice. So I take it out, and I was doing tofu for Rachel, and I did that pork for Harper and I. Little Bashans over all of it. That shit's good. And I just completely lost everything. So we're cooking up.
Happens with age.
I cut it all down, cube it up, take it out, put it on the Blackstone, cook it up, and like the rice is done. It looks as good as it's going to get. The tofu's looking crispy, which if you're not a fan of tofu, I've got two things for you. One, I found a recipe in the air fryer to make tofu chicken nuggets. And you could put chicken nuggets, like real chicken nuggets, and these tofu chicken nuggets on a plate, put them together, mix them up so somebody wouldn't know. And you'd be like, that one's a little different, but it's still good. And it is, it's that good. Like you would say that like, it's an off brand. Like it's the store brand chicken nugget.
Right.
That's that. It's like, it's not Chick-fil-A, but it's a store brand chicken nugget. Yeah. And again, it's a chicken nugget, so it's not terrible. So that's one way to do tofu. The other way, slice it up, marinate it with the Bashans or whatever you're going to do. You'd use a little teriyaki, throw it on the griddle and crisp it up so it's crispy on both sides. And that is fucking tasty as well. Yeah, you can't beat that. So I'm pulling.
Love your wife to death, but fuck tofu. I'm going to tell you that right now. In fact, it's a mantra that maybe one day I'll explain. You know, when I assisted a local restaurant, they had smoked tofu on the menu, and created a little bit of a ruckus with me because I'm not smoking fucking tofu. But you can. I mean, if you would, if that's what you want, that's all on you.
Yeah. We've actually smoked it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not terrible. I would rather have it on the griddle, like kind of crispy
for the texture. And I can understand this place is putting out. I'd rather chew on a rubber tire than chew on what they did. Yeah, I tried it. I mean, I'm not going to say I didn't try it because I did.
But those chicken nuggets, those tofu chicken nuggets, that's fucking good. So anyway, at the end of this, I'm pulling my rice off. The veggies look fantastic. The rice looks fucking okay. The tofu looks good. The little bacon bites, they're like they've browned up. They're crispy. It's like, oh, these are going to be good. This is going to be real tasty. Like we're on to something here. And it was almost too dry. And they were crispy and they were like caramelized like candy. The brine that I used for the bacon was obviously the salt, pepper, the preg powder, and then it was maple syrup in there to give it a little bit of that flavor. And I think what had happened was that brine pulls all the water out of the bacon, out of the pork belly. And then it's coated in maple syrup. So it has that flavor to it. So when I threw it on the Blackstone, any of the moisture that was left in it is fucking gone.
Yep.
And the maple syrup caramelized around it and made it crispy. So it was good, but it didn't have that soft pork chew that you get
with regular fried rice.
Yeah.
Regular
Yeah.
pork fried
It was,
chickens.
yeah. It was good.
It's
It
still
was one of
bacon.
those things that, yeah, like I would only, like, I'm not going to do it again. Like, I'm
Yeah.
going to save it and cook it as bacon, than to do that. So, but lesson learned, the idea sounded great. You remember when I sent that to you? Like, cool,
Oh,
we might be
yes.
onto something here.
Yes. Yes.
When in fact we were not.
It's all part of the learning process. How
Mm-hmm.
else are we going to grow if we don't experiment and try things? Some of them will be a home
Absolutely.
run. Some will
Absolutely.
just be a single.
Right. Right. And how many times have we talked about that's the fun part of smoking meats, cooking, all this kind of stuff is to mess around and figure out what works and what doesn't. And I can tell you what doesn't work with rice. Whatever the hell I'm doing to make rice, that's not fucking working. I'm going to start having my mother-in-law who makes the perfect rice every time. I'm going to have, like, she's going to have to, our neighbors are talking about listing their house to move. And I'm like, she's just going to move in. So we can do our fried rice once a week. God.
Keep you supplied in rice. Gotta love it.
Right. Right. I'll buy the rice. I just need you to make it.
Piece of cake. Sounds like fair trade to me.
Right. Right. And she gets to see the grandkids.
See?
Like that,
See?
right. That's a fair trade for her.
Yep. That's a
She'd
silver
be
lining.
set with that. So,
oh, Lord have mercy.
So I hear,
go ahead.
I hear there's more to our U.S. Postal Service friends.
I was just getting ready to mention it. So in a later episode, we're going to talk about a book called Peace, Love, and Barbecue. And very good book. I owned it. Ben owns it. And as part of the barbecue culture, you gift, you do certain things. A very nice gentleman named Bob O'Connor gave me the book. And one of my favorite people to talk barbecue. He's into it like we are, and he gave me a copy of the book. And he said, "When you're done with it, pass it on." I said, "Okay." So I passed it on to my little barbecue pit novice, and that's gonna be a whole. When we talk about the book, you know what I'm going to say. So anyhow, I decided that I wanted another copy. So on the 11th of May, today's the 20th. On the 11th of May, I went on eBay and I bought another copy of Peace, Love, and Barbecue. And yeah, it has spent the past 5 days in York, Pennsylvania. Now, I don't know if you've ever been to York, Pennsylvania or not. I spent 5 years there. And I can tell you, even being a book, I wouldn't want to spend 5 days in York. So anyhow, my daily digest this morning has the book arriving today. So apparently York, Pennsylvania has released my book. It has arrived in Berlin, 346.4 yards away, whatever it is. And supposedly it's going to be delivered today. But once again, United States Postal Service has struck. And what the fuck? I mean, this is Hickman. They did a podcast airing the grievances. They bitched about us. Let's just put it on the shelf right over here. And we're going to hold it for 5 freaking days. Come on now. Is it really that difficult? And again, here we are discussing shipping. I paid $3.81 for this book. And granted, it's probably not in the best condition, but it doesn't matter. As long as I can read it and there's not jizz all over it, I really don't care. What kind of shipping are they using if I'm paying $3.81 for a book with free shipping?
Yeah.
How do you make money? It was this purchase benefits charity, one of those deals on eBay. What kind of shipping are you using, and how do I use it? Because I don't think I can send a card anymore for the price of the book and the price of the shipping and all that shit. I'm like, come on, people. I don't know how you all make money, but Must be a hell of a deal through eBay or some other shipping guru. I don't know what they use, but like, my God. Well, you get what you pay for, I guess. And that's why it sat in purgatory in North Pennsylvania for 5 days. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I want to give a shout out to MedStar Health. I had my shoulder surgery done on the 15th. And those folks have their shit together. I mean, they literally have their shit together. From the time I got there, surgery was scheduled at 1, had to be there at 11. By 11:15, I was through pre-op, had my line started, which, by the way, I don't like IVs in my hands. I can't stand it. My veins don't do well in my hand. And I told the nurse, I said, hey, look, I have one request. The request is don't start a line in my hand. And she said, yep, no problem. We'll go up a little bit and da-da-da-da-da. And I said, you get one shot at it. And I do this every time I have blood drawn, have an IV, whatever. I said, you get one shot at it. If you don't get it, I'm going to start my own line. And she said, you can't do that. And I said, bet money. So she pulls out she pulls out a 22. And I said, the fuck are you going to do with a 22?
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to have surgery. Something goes sideways, Can we at least go with an 18? And she goes, so healthcare? And I said, was. And she goes, paramedic. And I said, oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I said, and I'd prefer a 16 if you can get it in there. That way, if I need fluid and need, something quick, I can get it quick.
Yeah.
You guys are all the same. So she misses with the 22. Yeah, shit you not. So I'm trying really hard not to laugh. And I hold my arm down like this, and I said, yeah, you're off to the side. And she gets flustered and calls another nurse in who you could tell she's been doing this shit a long time, probably an old ER nurse. And I say old, she was probably in her late 30s, early 40s. And she puts a tourniquet on. She smacks my vein like 4 or 5 times. And I do the, harder, baby. And she goes, are you a cop or a fireman? And I said, well, she goes, fucking knew it. Yeah. And she nailed it bigger than shit. Yeah. You a cop or a fireman?
What size did she use?
Goddamn. 22. Yeah, I was a little disappointed in that too. And I gave her shit about it too. She goes, that's all we use here. And I said, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah.
Yeah. I've had
after them, they had their shit together. And I kid you not, a well-oiled machine. They had a PACU anesthesiologist that came in and did my blocks. They had a nurse anesthetist in the room with me. So they had 2 gas passers. And the anesthesiologist comes in and he says, yeah, I'm so-and-so. I'm your anesthesiologist. And I said, oh, you're my gas passer. And he goes, yeah, I just did that in the hallway. I didn't want to do it in here. I went, dude, we're going to get along great. We're going to get along great.
This will be just fine.
Yep. So he said, we're going to do a little IV sedation while I do this nerve block. I said, man, that's fine with me. And the last thing I remember saying to him was, I taste pennies. And he laughed. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, very efficient folks. Shout out to them. Healthcare was fantastic. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Good. And you're feeling good, right?
I feel great.
Better?
Yeah, I feel great. We discussed this earlier, but I'll just tell everybody listening. We know everybody who's had some sort of shoulder work done. And they're saying, 4, 5, 6 days could be the worst pain of your life. It's going to be all this kind of shit, blah, 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 blah. I can tell you, all I've had basically is Motrin Tylenol. They sent me home with some Oxy. It's sitting somewhere in the house. I have no idea. Never had to take it. Don't have any idea. And this has been a breeze. Just good. And I don't want to jinx myself because I know PT's coming in about 3 weeks. And that's going to fucking suck. I already know it.
Yes, it is.
So, but as far as post-surgical shit, yeah, I had a little discomfort at the 24-hour mark, or not 24-hour mark, I guess 36-hour mark, when the block was completely gone. A little discomfort trying to sleep, but pop more Motrin and was good to go. So,
Good.
knock on wood.
Yeah.
I guess that's better.
Yeah.
But
The pain is coming.
oh yeah, for sure. Taking a shower is a treat, because I can lean over and let my arm hang and do circles and shit like that with it. That can be a little unpleasant.
Yeah.
But I guess I'd psych myself up for a lot more pain than what I'm actually having. So this is, so far it's nothing. But yeah,
Good.
I know as soon as I go to PT, they're going to go, hey, I want you to take your hand. I want you to walk up this wall with it as far as you can go. And I'll get about 4 or 5 centimeters. And that's going to be the extent of it before I break down.
Like, that's cute.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all part of the process.
Yeah. Yeah. So my father just had his knee replaced, and he said it was probably the day he got home or the day after was pretty bad. Then we talked to him last night, and he's feeling much better. So, and he none of his rehab does he go anywhere for. He does it all at home.
Oh wow!
They gave him a bunch of exercises and stuff that he's supposed to do every day or a couple times a day, and he said none of his stuff is at an outpatient place or anywhere. So,
oh wow, good.
Yeah.
No, today is Monday. I go back to MedStar Thursday for my first post-op eval, and I'm sure they're going to send me with a list of shit that I can start doing.
Oh yeah,
and so I would imagine that I will have increased discomfort starting then, but at least I'll be moving my arm around, getting the movement back. Because right now I can't. If I tried to chicken wing my arm up now, there's no way in hell I could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I had 7 things done, and there's just no way I can do that right now. So I'm just taking it easy, the Motrin, and icing it I'm still icing it about once an hour, but because that helps quite a bit with the discomfort.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good. I had my gallbladder taken out in March. Yeah. And it was the day after I got off of work. So I had somebody come in for me at like 4:00 in the morning, came home, showered, did this pre-surgical scrubs that I was supposed to do.
The pink shit.
Yeah. Which
sucked.
I didn't have a problem with it. So what's funny is, it was not funny. Well, I guess it's kind of funny. So the hot tub, we had it filled up and was like we had gone in it. I think I had gone in with Harper, just playing around. And for all those people that are going to say, you can't take a kid into a hot tub that's under 12. Well, guess what? It's my kid. It's my hot tub. I did. She's still alive. Yep. She thought it was a blast. Kiss my ass. But that the folliculitis, that hot tub rash that you get, Harper was fine. I ended up with this rash all over my chest, and I'm like, shit, I'm going to have abdominal surgery.
Yeah. And they're not going to do it.
Yeah. So I called my dermatologist. I was like, what can I do? And they're like, well, here's some stuff. Use these scrubs and use this, do that. And it really didn't work. Yeah. But then
all you're doing then is irritating it even more.
Yeah. Yeah. The that pre-surgical scrub that they gave me, that Hibiclens, it was an off-brand of Hibiclens. That shit cleared it up.
Cut it right out.
Oh yeah. That was, I had to do that 3 times. Yeah. The 3 showers before my surgery. So then I did that, cleared it up, and the same thing. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed.
It's some bad shit, dude. I'm telling you.
Right? I love it. I love it. I kept it.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's in the
Uh,
bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here comes this nurse to start my IV, and she's like looking, and I was like, hey, look, if you can't find something, one, you're blind, and two, if you miss, I'm doing it. The same thing, right?
Yep. Yep.
She's like, oh no, I'll be fine. And I have this beautiful, you can't see it, but I have a beautiful vein on the back of my hand, which I may or may not have started one in before on myself.
Yep.
But again, I'm not typically a fan of the hand either. But if I see it, like, I'll take it. And then she puts a 20 in after, and she's like, we're talking about it. I was like, well, I want you to know my favorite color is green.
Yep.
Which is and if you don't know, folks, the hub of the catheter is the size of the needle. So there's yellow and blue, which is 20, 22, something like that. I'm sorry.
22 is blue.
22 is blue. 24 is yellow. And that's
Yep.
the smallest. And then 20 is pink. 18 is green. 16 is gray. And 14 is orange. And the smaller the number, the bigger the bore size is. So the more like fluids they can give you. And I told her, I said, my favorite color is green. And I looked down later, and here it is the little pink thing. I was like, oh, that's cute.
At least you saw pink. I saw blue. So
right. Yeah. Yeah. And I tell you, I think that like that size, even in good veins, is still harder to start and harder to get than a 20 or an 18.
Yep.
So afterwards, I'm sorry, then they give me some Versed, and I don't really remember much after that. The next thing I wake up, I'm like,
I referred to the medication they gave me is milk of amnesia.
Oh,
and
yes.
Yeah,
you got some good stuff.
Propofol.
Yeah.
So the anesthesiologist, when he came in the room, he said, this is what we're going to do. I said, oh, milk of amnesia. And he goes, okay. Yep. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a kid years ago dislocate his elbow on a football field, not playing football. This was before practice. They were wrestling. Dislocates his elbow. We take him to the hospital. I'm sorry. This was at like towards the end of practice. Because I left practice or left like at the end of the day, and I stopped by the hospital for some of the kids that I knew. And like he had just gotten back, was getting seen, started the IV, all that kind of stuff. And the PA had asked, like, have you ever done any drugs or anything like this? And he's like, no, nope. And I'm thinking in my mind, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And like his parents are standing there. I was like, I know what this kid's doing. Look, that's the bullshit answer.
Yeah.
They hit him with that propofol, and he goes, oh, fuck. And the mom is like beside herself. She's like, I can't believe you said that. And the doctor was like, well, he's never done drugs before.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was cool.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. So hey, we're just over our 30 minutes, which is where we like to keep our shows, folks. If you're new, if you are new, thanks for joining us. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Airing of the Grievances. Fucking Rice.
And fuck United States Postal Service. God damn.
Yeah.
It's driving me nuts.
Yeah. So, excuse me. If you'd like to join us, or if you'd like to add something to the Airing of the Grievances, send us an email or go to one of our social media profiles and send us a message. Our email is waywardsoles88@gmail.com. waywardsoles88@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Heck, if it's good enough, we might have you come on the show because, well, that's a good fucking time.
Always.
As of today, the episode on the passwords, the Airing of the Grievances on passwords, went live. So we hope you get to listen to this episode because they may cancel us after we bitch about Spotify. So we'll see what happens.
And Google.
And Google. Yeah, all the above. So we'll see if we're still around. And if you guys get to listen to this episode, if not, it's been real. It's been fun. It's not been real fun for them, at least. We've had a great time.
Oh, yes. Every time.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our show for today. Like I said, if you're interested in sending something to us, please reach out. Please send something to us. We're always looking for some good content and some good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So having said that, cheers.
Cheers.